Hello everyone, and welcome to Scheduling Part 2. In this video, you will learn how to manage slot groups, slot group types, and slot group properties in relation to the product we created in the previous video. First, let's explore the purpose of a slot group. A slot group can be used to define type, qualification, and number of resources needed for a certain event. For example, a type of slot group would be an instructor who would need certain qualifications to teach a class. You would need at least one resource assigned to the instructor slot group for each class. Let's move on to our practical example, Joe, for a preview of why slot groups can be useful. Firstly, you need slot groups before you can assign resources manually to an event or project. But if you set up slot groups with eligibility, the system can automatically assign resources to your project. Let's say Joe needs to schedule instructors for his training courses. He could go through and find the qualified resources and assign them individually. Or, to save some time and effort, Joe can assign slot groups and slot group eligibility so the system can assign qualified instructors who are available automatically. Here we are in the Mint Web Assistant. We're going to head over to Products and look at slot group properties. For this video, we are only going to be looking at the slot group types activated for A320 LOE. If I were to create a new slot group type under A320 LOE, it would only apply to this category and anything that fell below it in the hierarchy. So we're going to right-click on the category, select Properties, and edit Slot Group Properties. Then we're going to select Property Sets. If we scroll down to Slot Group Type, we'll see all the slot group types. So we have Trainee, Instructor, Device and Facility. If you wanted to add a new slot group type, you would select the green button and fill in the elements. These slot group types will also come into play while adding slot groups to our product. So we're going to close out and open up our product. We're going to select all 3 days of training and then create a new slot group. We'll name this slot group Captain. This is where slot group type comes into play. Say you wanted to run a report involving the number of trainees. Instead of putting in the role assigned to every training session, for example, first officer and captain, you can query by the slot group type trainee. So we'll select trainee. Now we're going to look at eligibility. Eligibility is how you define which resources are qualified to be assigned to this event as a certain slot group. You define this qualification for the slot group with requirements, which can be set up in the queries page or assigned record items. So for example, for captain, they'll have the qualification of A320 LOE trainee and medical check. By selecting this eligibility, you're telling the system that any resource that is assigned to this slot group must have both of these record items. If you wanted to say they should have A320 LOE trainee qualification or medical check, or anything more complicated than and, you would use conditional eligibility. We'll touch on conditional eligibility in further videos. We're going to press OK and create a new slot group. We'll name this one First Officer, type Trainee, and we only need one. We'll set up the same eligibility. And then create an instructor for day 1 and day 2. We'll name this instructor and have type instructor. The eligibility will look a little different because it'll have A320 LOE instructor qualification and a medical check. We'll hit on further defining factors like continuities and user schedule rules, which allow the system to automatically assign resources and schedule projects later on in the series. This has been Scheduling Part 2. Thanks for watching.